Wir sehen mal 1874 in Deutschland wurde eingeboren. Ich heiße Albert Einstein. For those of you who don't know German, on March 14, 1876 in Ulm, Germany, a genius was born. My name is Albert Einstein. I'm the oldest child of Hermann and Pauline Einstein. Hermann was a salesman. My parents are a middle-class Jewish couple. When I was 2 years old, my sister Maria was born, but I called her Masha. When she was born, I asked, where are her wheels? I thought she was a new toy. I did not start talking well until I was 3 years old. I started playing the violin at the age of 5. While I played the violin, my mother would play the piano. We played Mozart and Beethoven. When I was 5 years old, my father gave me a compass. It started my curiosity of how things worked. Here's some interesting stories about me. When I was a baby, I had such a big head that my mother thought I was going to be deformed. I liked playing with blocks and building card houses. When I was 6 years old, I went to a Catholic school. I didn't like it because I thought it was too strict. I liked learning outside of school. I was the eldest Jewish person in my class. My parents chose this school because it was less expensive and it was closer to our house. When I was in high school, my dad's business failed. My family moved to Italy, but without me. I lived with a distant relative. I didn't like school, so I dropped out, packed my bags, and took a train to Italy back to my family. At 16, I wrote my first essay on physics. To get into the university, I had to pass these entrance tests. Even though I was 16, I was allowed to take them. I scored high on science and math, but didn't do so well in history and languages. My best friend, Marcio Grossman, helped me pass my final test by sharing his notes with me. I didn't like sitting in class. I met my wife in college. Her name was Moliva Mark. We were married in 1903. In 1904, we had our first son, Hans Albert Einstein. 6 years later, we had our second son, Edward. There are many things I am famous for. I am most famous for my theory of relativity. This theory recognizes that the speed of light in a vacuum is constant, an absolute physical boundary for motion. I am also famous for my equation E equals mc squared, which means mass times the speed of light squared. My explanation of photoelectric effect helped lay the foundation of a new branch of science called quantum physics. This helped make TVs, lasers, remote controls, and computer chips. Did you ever wonder why the sky is blue? I asked the same thing. I found out that the scattering of light by molecules in an atmosphere create the color of the sky. I have many famous quotes. One of my quotes is, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. One other of my quotes is, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. My favorite quote is, only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I am not sure about the former, which means that only two things never end, the universe and human stupidity, but I'm not sure about the universe never ending, but human stupidity never ends. I had many jobs during my lifetime. In 1902, I worked in a patent office for 7 years in Switzerland. In 1909, I became a junior professor at the University of Zurich. In 1910, I was a full professor at the University of Prague. I then sailed to the U.S. for a job at Princeton. I lived there until I died. In 1940, I became a U.S. citizen. In 1952, I was offered to become president of Israel. I was honored but declined. I felt I knew a little about nature but not much on politics. Here's some interesting facts about me. In 1922, I won the Nobel Prize for Physics. I never owned a car. I thought driving was too difficult. I rarely combed my hair or wore socks. Once I had dinner at the White House with Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. I was a huge seeker of peace and didn't like war. I died on April 18, 1955. I died from a burst blood vessel in my stomach. I was 76 years old. I was cremated. My ashes were put in the Delaware River. The doctor that removed my organs kept my brain to study without permission. Dr. Thomas Harvey kept my brain to study, sending out pieces of it to study. My brain was compared to 35 other men's brains. I had a shorter groove in the area of the brain that is believed to be used for mathematical procedures and problem solving. This could be the answer of why I was a genius. This is a picture of me and my sister Maja when we were little. This is a picture of me and my good friend Marie Curie, who also won the Nobel Prize. This is a picture of me teaching at a university when I was in Princeton. Ich bin Albert Einstein. Vielen Dank für das Zuhören meiner Lebensgeschichte.